how are you all today? My name is Mackenzie and I'm so happy that you're here. So first of all, I want to apologize if the birds are really loud. They are crowing like crazy today. I feel like maybe it's because of the rain. We've been having really crazy rain here in SoCal. So today I wanted to bring to you all a video all about setting your standards and why it's so important to set your standards high. When you set your standards high, you don't accept anything below them. And when you're not accepting anything below them, then you are only keeping things and people and situations in your life that are all up to your standards. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this because this is something that I've always been working on my whole life. And I would say that, you know, my standards weren't always very high, and now they're really high. They're incredibly high. They're probably maybe a little bit too high, but well, actually scratch that. Your standards are not too high. Set whatever standards you feel like you need to. But I think it's really important to kind of share with you why you should set your standards high and how to do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I think for a lot of people, they don't quite know exactly what their standards are. They're kind of just going about life and they're not really thinking about their interactions or the people that are in their life or anything like that. It's a really good practice to kind of identify what your standards are, things that you find unacceptable in other people, in situations. Sorry, the birds, oh my goodness, they're just crowing like crazy. So identify those things, identify what your deal breakers are. Go ahead and take out a pen and paper and write down the standards that you have. So you can have standards for your love life, you can have standards for your workplace, you can have standards for your family, you can have all these different things, and they kind of help you identify and write them down so you can remember them. If you're in a situation that's not making you feel so good, that are below your standards, then you can kind of get out of the situation if you feel like that's what you need to do. I can give you guys a little bit of an example. I have different standards for every aspect of my life, and I can let you guys know what my standard is for friendship. So I have standards for friendship. I wouldn't say that I've always had good friendships. I've kind of always struggled with my friendships in my life, especially with my friendships with other girls. I've had some really interesting experiences where girls were not so nice to me, and they kind of stabbed me in the back, and they made my life not that great. So I try and set standards for my friendships as far as how I want to be treated and how I want to treat them. You know, sometimes I haven't been the best friend either, and so I raise standards for myself as far as me being a friend. So an example of a standard that you could do is your friends do not talk about you behind your back. They think only good things about you, and of course nobody's perfect, but if they think you're a certain way and they're only being nice to your face and then they go and they stab you behind the back, then that is not part of your standards and you should not be friends with them. It's the same for you too. So are you talking behind your friends' backs? Do you feel like maybe they're not a good person, but you're still friends with them anyway? These sorts of things you need to identify and write them down so that you know and you're aware of them. So next is to identify your limiting beliefs. So we all have limiting beliefs. Our limiting beliefs are that we're not good enough for romantic love, we're not smart enough, we don't have enough money, all these different things. And so identify what your limiting beliefs are. So I was reading a really amazing example online. It was, instead of saying I don't have enough money or I'm broke, say that I am a money making machine and I make money all the time. Money is always flowing to me. Money is always in abundance. Say these sorts of intentions, and seriously, you will start attracting money like that. It's all about the law of attraction. So identify these limiting beliefs and switch them around, create an intention around. Eventually, it just becomes part of your normal self-talk and it comes to part of your standard. Your standard is that you are a money-making machine. So I think next is to not accept anything below that. So even if you feel like maybe you don't have a lot of friendships in your life, or you feel like you can't find a romantic love, so once you find a standard for yourself, don't go below them. So say for instance, you're in a romantic relationship and you're kind of noticing that all they really want to do is just have sex. They don't really want to talk to you. They're not really interested in what you have to say. And if that's not your standard, then you need to just cut that relationship. All that's doing is holding you back from the love of your life. It'll make space in your life for people that actually do meet your standards. And I promise you that they are out there. Setting your standards is something that I like to do, and I have been holding my standards for a very long time, and I've used these steps. So the first one is to identify what your standards are, identify what exactly it is that your limiting beliefs are, creating an intention around those beliefs, so creating a positive intention to help you change your limiting belief, and not accepting anything below those standards that you identified for yourself. And once you do this, I promise that you're going to start realizing the people in your life or the things in your life that are not to your standards, and letting go of them feels so good, and you're just going to feel so much more positive and so much happier. And it really does make space for the people that meet your standards and new people that are going to come in and who are going to be amazing and give so much to you. So these help you. So let me know in the comments below if you have anything to add, and before you forget, please go and subscribe below. It would mean so much to me, and give me a thumbs up. And I love you all so much. Keep your standards high, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!